Senator, if this feels like deja vu for you, try it from my side. I've worked for AIM for about 12 years. I think this is the 15th time that I've testified about unemployment insurance reform. Most of those presentations were before this committee, but there were other presentations before committees looking at economic development more broadly. I think what I would like to do is echo some of the comments that were made previously, that this is an area where I think reform is warranted. Certainly the comments by the Senate President and by the Speaker at the beginning of the session suggesting that unemployment insurance reform would be a hot topic this session is one of the reasons that I'm here for the 12th or 13th time, I don't know, whatever it is. And what I'd like to do is just suggest that while there are several bills that contain elements that are worthy of consideration, and I signed up to testify for the bill that AIM sponsored, but I think you have before you enough raw material to create a pretty substantive unemployment insurance reform package. And there are several areas where I think Massachusetts UI cries out for reform. I would just mention four, one of which is nearly done. So you're almost finished, if you think about it that way. The first is the issue of rates. We have long believed that the rate table ought to be designed in a fashion that requires those employers who use the system more frequently to pay a higher unemployment insurance rate. Fairly standard insurance concept. The more you use the insurance, the more you should be required to pay. And I leave that to the committee to decide what is the right balance between use and costs. There is a suggested rate table in House 1732, which is what I signed up to testify for. I'm happy to work with you in terms of whether that's the right rate table or if there's another table that makes any sense. The other areas that I think cry out for reform were mentioned previously. I won't belabor the point, but the issue of eligibility. One of the concepts in unemployment insurance is that one must demonstrate attachment to the workforce. I think the attachment to the workforce requirements here in Massachusetts are easy to achieve for some, not for all, but for some. And I think that's an area that I think should be addressed. Lastly, the issue of benefits. I'm often subjected to testimony that says that 6 other states do this and 7 other states do that, and so therefore Massachusetts should join those leaders. 49 other states have less than 30 weeks of standard benefit. I think it's not inappropriate for Massachusetts to look at the standard benefit duration to try to be a little bit more competitive. And lastly, our bill suggests the elimination of the Medical Security Trust Fund, which both the House and the Senate have already approved, and hopefully as the budget works its way to final passage, that and several other items that are companion pieces to that will also be achieved, and we can check that off the list. So with that, I'm happy to stop, entertain any questions that you might have, and also make the offer that as you craft a reform bill, I'm happy to serve as a resource and bring in some of our members who are expert in unemployment insurance and provide any information that you think would be helpful in terms of crafting a final package.